Today, the talk, DIY marketing toolbox for business owners on a budget. Who is our speaker?
Right. Well, we've given a few clues, but having worked at Signal for now over 2 years, just this week, our guest speaker will be very familiar to the regular BizHub members. He's Signal's resident digital manager who keeps various technical web, social media elements all working together really smoothly. He also helps with the marketing, and he provides invaluable support, insights, and he's got a can-do attitude to the team. He's here today to discuss some DIY tools and to help you manage your own marketing. It's the multi-talented Mr. Gareth Turner.
Hey!
Oh.
G-Man! How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm currently at Signal.
Woo!
Nice, that's really good.
Cool.
Yes, thought it'd be good for everyone to see the building is still here.
Are you there on your own?
I'm not, I do have Claire with me. She's tucked away in a corner, being quiet.
Cool. Excellent.
Right.
Right, over to you, sir.
Over to you, Gareth.
Lovely, thank you very much. Share my screen, everyone. Okay. Okay, can we see that? Everyone see that? Perfect, lovely. Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you for coming. And thank you for that great intro, Lou. I think you may have oversold me slightly, but hey ho. So, what is today's talk? So today's talk is all about marketing and how you can effectively market yourself and your business on a budget or at zero cost. That's what we want, zero cost option here. So why this talk? So if you're doing your own marketing and want some free tools that will make it all fit together and improve your content, or you're looking at doing your own marketing, this will give you the basis to do that from there. So who am I? So for those of you who don't know me, I am not only the current reigning champion of the Signal Bake Off competition, but I also do some digital things at Signal, as Lou mentioned. So the question is, what qualifies me to tell you about this stuff? Well, like most of you, marketing was not something I'd had much dealings with until I joined Signal. So this meant that I had to start from the beginning, which gave me a really useful insight into how to effectively market yourself and your business. Now, the thing is, like most startups and small business, although it's an important part of running a business, marketing is often overlooked slightly or becomes very sporadic, which is not great at all. So having done that, and knowing that all business owners want to save time and money, I put together this talk to give you the fundamentals to do it yourself. So, what you'll leave this with is a simple funnel and understanding of how to create your marketing strategy, as well as a great toolkit that won't cost you a penny, but more on that later. But what I will say is that with these 4 freebies, you can change the way you market your business for the better. And number 4 is my favorite. So the first question, the question on everyone's lips, where do I start? So the most important place to start when it comes to marketing is knowing your customers, who they are, what they do, how they do what they do. So the first step is to create your buyer persona. So for those of you who don't know what a buyer persona is a fictional generalized representation of your ideal customer. So the whole purpose of a buyer persona is that they help you understand your customers better and then make it easy for you to tailor your content to their specific needs, behaviors, or concerns. Now, depending on the business, you could have as few as 1 or 2 personas, or as many as 10 to 20. There is no limit on that. And as Stu mentioned, we will be going through a workshop in the second half on actually creating your first buyer persona so that you can get sorted. But just so that you've got an example with you now, let me introduce you to one of Signal's personas. He's called Gorgeous George, and here he is, good old Gorgeous George. So George is a 32-year-old and has just taken advantage of a Help to Buy scheme. And he in a 2-bed house in Borden. He's got a wife who's pregnant, and recently left his job at a trendy marketing agency. And basically, George has taken a bit of a risk and set up his own marketing agency in a small rented office. He knows he's a talented digital marketer with a lot of experience, but he's also aware that he has no idea how to run a business. So someone like that is a sort of an ideal customer for us, someone that's got the talent, hasn't got the know-how. And that's basically a buyer persona. So the first question of the day is, do you know who your ideal customer is? So if you post your comments in the chat, although for some reason it's not letting me see the chat, but post it in, let me know who your ideal customer is, because I think that'll be really interesting to see sort of where everyone is and sort of what stages they're at. Okay, so the all-important funnel. That's what it's all about. Everyone loves a funnel. I love a funnel. So this is a very simple funnel, which kind of lists out sort of your basically standard customer journey. Let me just move my mouse to the screen. If you hopefully you can see that. Perfect, lovely. So basically what this is your content starts here. You drop it down into your social media channels, whichever social media channels work well for you. You then, oh, my mouse has disappeared. There we go. They then click on a link that you've put in there, which will take them through to a landing page. On the landing page, they'll then sign up. After that, you have the nurture sequence and then the purchase sequence. And then the sequence sort of recycles from that. So what I'll do is we'll go into this in more depth over the next couple of slides, just to sort of have that image in your mind right now that that's the funnel that we are working to. That's what it looks like. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, where do your customers hang out? This is a really important part when it comes to your marketing. So once you've created your persona, say, and you've established that your ideal customer is a male aged 35 to 40, then there's no point you advertising on a platform which is aimed at women over 60, for example. So that's why having a buyer persona and understanding your customer is so important, because it can save you a lot of time and effort if you get this right from the get-go. So this is the sort of the first step of the funnel, so where your customers hang out. So the first question I have for you is, what social media channels are you on? Where do you know where your customers are? Let me know. Are you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, any of these? Post it in the chat. Let us know where you are, because it'd be really interesting to see how people are doing. But what I thought I would do for you is show you some of the demographics for the social media channels. So if you're not entirely sure where your customers are, I'm going to show you some demographics that I got. They're really simple to find. I simply searched on Google social media demographics, and this is what I got. So really easy to sort of go and have a look. But for the purposes of this, I'll just show you now. So here's 3 of them. So you can see, obviously, we've got Facebook at the top, and you can see that 75% of women use Facebook and 63% of men use Facebook. So you know that Facebook generally is quite a good place for you to have your business advertised, because it covers quite a wide audience. And then you can also see that, again, the age range of all the customers, again, is very broad and very well spread out. So that's a very good platform to be on. Instagram, this is the next one. 43% of females use it, 31% of males. So again, not too much of a difference between the 2 different genders, but you know, again, more of a female platform than a male platform. And then you can also see on here that if your target market is, you know, over 65, only 8% of over 65-year-olds use Instagram. So that necessarily wouldn't be a great place for you to advertise because your customers aren't there. So I've just got a few more to have a look at. We've also got here LinkedIn and YouTube. YouTube is a big surprise. It's the one that most people use. 68% of females and 78% of males use it, and a very good sort of spread across all ages. Majority of them being sort of the 18 to 29-year-olds, but you know, there's a marginal percentage difference in that. So YouTube is a great place to put your videos and advertise on with that. And then just two more to have a look at. Pinterest here, this one I found very interesting. So Pinterest is very much a female-dominated platform. So with 42% of females using it and only 15% of males, which was quite surprising for that. But again, the kind of spread between the ages is very similar of that. And then Snapchat is basically 50-50, 24 and 24. So, you know, that's the social media channels. So have a look at those. Decide, after you've decided who your buyer persona is, you'll then be able to go, okay, so this platform works best for me because the majority of my customers hang out there. Okay. So the next question is, what gets engagement? So you know who your ideal customer is, and now you know where they like to hang out. So the question is, how do you engage with them? And that's really important because you want your customer to engage with you. Now, depending on the platform you use will depend on what works best. But I have given a really brief overview of what gets the most engagement on the different platforms. So let's just have a quick look. Some of it's very obvious. So Facebook is videos and curated content. So by curated content, that's things like ladders and things like that. That gets the most engagement on Facebook. Instagram, pretty obvious. Photos, it is a photo app with quotes and stories. Stories big on Instagram. LinkedIn, company news, professional content. So all quite self-explanatory and kind of, you know, oh yeah, of course, why wouldn't that be on there? You know, YouTube is videos. Who'd know? Who'd know? But yeah, so there's just a sort of a rough breakdown. That's really important. That's sort of the step that you need to know. You need to know who your customer is, where they hang out, and then what's going to engage them, what's going to pull them in to you, what's going to get them to interact with you. Okay. So now you know where they are or who they are, you know where they are, and you know what's going to grab their attention. What you need to do is know what they want from you. Okay, so you'll see now we've got the lovely funnel back here at the side, and you'll see this on the slide. So you can see this is kind of a 2-point in the funnel process because you need to know what there is up here for when you're posting on social media, and obviously that's what's going to get them to sign up. So the question is, what do they want from you? So this refers to lead generation, which, let's face it, it's what this whole talk is about. It's what the whole point of marketing your business is to get leads. Now, the great thing about lead generation is that there are already hundreds of tried and tested methods that you can use to generate new leads in your business. Now, I won't go into detail about them all now because that would pretty much take up a whole talk on its own. In fact, it actually did. If you do want to have a look at that talk, Stuart did one. It's called Magical Magnets from February 2019. So if you want to have a look and get more details on that, have a look at that talk. But I will just give you a quick few examples of lead gens that you can use. So examples include ebooks, guides, white papers, checklists, quizzes and surveys, webinars like we're doing now, and events, and sort of free demos or trials, or loyalty schemes. You know, any one of these are all examples of great marketing strategies, you know, great lead generators to bring people into the business. So just have a think about what you could do, what your customer would want with that. Okay, so it's time to look at the next part of the funnel, which is the landing page. So what are landing pages? People throw them around all the time, and you know, what are they? What is the purpose? So a landing page is a online marketing sales page. Normally it's a single page, and it appears in response to someone clicking a link that you've put out. So either as a search result, or a marketing promotion, marketing email, or online advert like a Google ad or something like that. When people click, the page that they go through is known as the landing page. And it's normally a direct sales page. The whole point of it is it's a sales page, you know, the hard sell, rather than the soft sell of a website. Now, 9 times out of 10, these will sit on your website, and you can just create a landing page on your website. If you've got things like WordPress or Wix, it's just really easy to create a new page, and just not have it listed on your website view, and you could just have people go to it. But if you haven't got a website, don't worry. Okay, they don't have to be on a website. You can host them on other platforms. For example, Eventbrite, when you signed up to this talk, you clicked through the page where just before you hit register, that's a landing page. So you've all experienced this, and you know, we use that as our landing page for our events. So it doesn't have to be on your website, it doesn't have to be linked to you. There are great tools that you can use. Another one that you can use is MailChimp, which is one of our 4 free tools, which I'll sort of explain a little bit more in a moment. But you know, it's just any place that you can get a page on the website that you can send people to after they've clicked your ad. Now, an example of this, just to sort of get the juices flowing, say that you are a fitness coach. Okay, so you then may advertise that you have a free how-to guide on staying healthy or eating healthy. Okay, so you would create your content for the platforms that you're posting on, post it out with the link, and then your prospects would click through onto then your landing page, which would then convert them. That's the whole idea behind it. So, you know, nice and simple process. Okay, so now we know, as part of the funnel, we've got here, move my mouse again, so we have our content that we drop in. So this is our lead magnet that we put up here with our social media. We post it onto the correct social media channels, and then what happens is people go to our landing page and then sign up. Okay, so far all nice and simple stuff. So next question, not the first question, the next question. Have you tried any lead generation activities already? And if so, what were they, and were they successful? You know, I think it's really interesting to get advice from other people that have done it, because that's the whole point. I mean, that's the whole point of the Biz Hub is, you know, oh, I tried doing a guide, but it didn't work because, oh, okay, I did this, it worked, great. So let us know in the chat. It'd be really interesting to see what things that you have got going, what marketing you are using for it. Okay, so the next step. Now, this step is probably the most important step of your funnel. And this is how will you follow up with your customers? Okay, now this comes down to understanding your customer's journey. So by customer journey, I mean the steps that a customer will take from learning about your business to then purchasing from you. Okay, that's your sort of your customer journey, what sort of steps they will take to making a purchase from you. Now, you can end up, if you don't understand your customer journey, you can end up spending a lot of time and money attracting all these people with your lead gen. That's great. They go onto your landing page, they download your free guide, and then you can lose them. If you don't understand your customer journey, that means that everything you've just done will be a waste, because the likelihood is they won't sign up. They won't make that purchase. You know, there's nothing in it for them. So you need to know what happens next. So after they've signed up, they've downloaded your guide, what happens? Do they get an email or a phone call or letter in the post? So any one of these things, you know, what is it? What is the nurture sequence? Which you can see, I've got to move on this again. See here, this bit here. What is your nurture sequence? Okay, now, as many of you may know, I am the automation king. I love to automate things. I think that at one day computers will take over the world because we would have automated everything so much. But the great thing about automating things is that it frees my time up to look at other things. Now, when it comes to your nurture sequence, this should be as automated as you can get it. So you shouldn't have to be sending an email out to someone every time they download. It should be, they hit the button, download, right, it'll automatically send them an email. And then after that, it gives me a reminder to give them a call or whatever your journey is. The whole idea is to automate it as much as you can. Get as much of it done by the computer, because if it takes you an hour to deal with one customer that downloads a lead gen, say, you could spend that hour making up this automation, and then you've got an hour back every time you get a customer. I mean, it just mathematically just makes sense. Now, if you do want more information on customer journeys, it's quite a big topic to understand. We did a talk back in March by Adrian about understanding the customer journey. So do have a look at that if you want to go more in depth, if you missed it or just want a refresher. But that is a really important part of understanding your customer journey. Now, MailChimp has some great function. As I mentioned before, this is one of our sort of free toolkits where you can create automated emails and landing pages, and creating and sending emails is really easy. Okay, so now it is a basic CRM, and the great thing is it is completely free to use. You do not have to pay anything to use it. Obviously, if you want extra functions, you have to pay for that, but on the free level is more than enough. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to create an email in MailChimp. So this is MailChimp. Now, the great thing with MailChimp and a free account is it's super easy to use. So this is the free account that Signal used to use, which I have resurrected for this. So when you go on, you'll scroll down. Obviously, you can see there's nothing in the last couple of days because we don't use it, but there's currently 549 people sat in the in our database. Now, to create an email, you simply click here, and then you've got a couple of options: an email, automated email, your email template, landing page, all these things. So I want to create an email. So the first thing you'll do is write what the email is. So let's say this is newsletter test. Okay, and then you hit begin. So it's then really simple from this point to write the email. So first thing you want to do is add your recipient. Now, the great thing with MailChimp is you can organize all of your customers into different lists. So this was obviously when we had the Board and Hub, so Board and Hub prospects, website sign-ups, and then sort of Signal contacts. So I want to send it to all subscribers in this audience. And what you can do is personalize the to field with their name. Okay. So that means an email comes out, it'll be like, hi, John, hi, Steph. So the next one is the from. Now, at the moment, it's set up to come from Emma at Signal Borden, but you can edit this at any time. If I wanted it to come from the work at Signal, I'd simply just do that, and then it will come from the work at Signal email address. Then you add your subject line. So and then the next thing you do is then you design your email. So if you hit design email, the great thing is you already have these pre-populated templates that you can use if you want to down here. And then you can also have templates that you use yourself. So let's just do this one as a template. Now, the way that this works is called a block builder, which means you can basically drag and drop anything that you want into it. So say if I wanted to add text, just bring that, drop that in there. And let's say we're going to, in the newsletter, I just want to paste this. Just bring it over here and then paste. There you go. And then that has installed that. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest just copying and pasting an Eventbrite copy, but for the purpose of this, it shows you how it works. And then if I wanted to add an image at the top as well, do the browse image. So these are files that are already included in the sort of Signal library. So anything you upload will be included in there. And let's, just for this simple purposes, we'll just pick this logo here. And there you can see, so we've got the email header, which is we've set up on the template. We've put a picture in. We've got our text copy, and obviously you can just drag and drop and put loads of different things in here. Got your social accounts that you've got linked in, and there's lots. So once you've done that, just hit continue. You can add your social medias to your campaign as well here. And that is done. So then you have the option, you can hit send now or schedule, and then you can schedule. So, I mean, how easy was that, guys? I mean, you know, super easy to send an email by MailChimp. That took all of about 4 minutes once you have your content and everything in. So that is a great one to go out at a certain date to use. So let's just summarize what it is that we've just talked about for it. So here we've got, I'll move my mouse across. So the first step is to research and know your customer. So creating your buyer persona and getting that sorted. The next step is to find out where they hang out. So which social media channels they are on. After that, it's then creating engaging content for them. So things that are going to grab their attention and pull them in. Then it's posting across the correct social media channels, creating a lead gen that your customer wants. So something that is going to entice your customer in, have a strong landing page, and then understanding your customer journey. So those are kind of the first steps for that funnel that you kind of need to understand. And you know, that works with every kind of marketing thing that you do. That is the basic funnel. You bring them in, and you have, you know, your lead gen that sends them to your landing page. Then a percentage of them sign up. Then you nurture. Then you purchase. Then you repeat. that is the standard marketing funnel for that. Okay, so then what's the next step? Okay, so what regular marketing activities do you need to do? So once you've created your lead gen and your landing page and your funnel, what you need to do is drive traffic to them. So creating your marketing strategy. Now it's really important to keep topping up your funnel on a regular basis with different lead gens and different promotions in order to get more people in, because the more people that enter the top of your funnel, the more people that come through the bottom. Basic principle. Now that is a lot of work to do, especially having to schedule everything. So we one of the next part of your toolkit is Buffer. Now Buffer is completely free to use. It's a scheduling app. There are many others out there, but for the purposes of this, we thought Buffer would be a really good one because it's really simple and really easy to use. I'll show you just really quickly how you can schedule So this is a Buffer. So once you've signed up and you've linked all your accounts, all the accounts that you've linked will appear down here. Now you can connect on the free account. You can connect up to 3 accounts. So this is the Signal one that we use at the moment. So you can see all of them. So say that I wanted to post something to the Signal Facebook page. I'd simply select that. And then you have down here a list of dates. So you can scroll down and see all the different dates and different times that's optimal for us to post. Now, as you do more and more posts, Buffer will sort of analyze the best times for you and will update these times. But say I wanted to do a post to promote this event, and I want it to go out on Wednesday, the 5th of August at 7:01. So I simply click here to add post, and then I would type in the message. So check out this event. Awesome. Okay. And then the great thing is with Buffer, what you can do is if I then go to the event on Eventbrite here and copy the URL and then paste it in, it will then pull through from Eventbrite, the event sort of copy and the image will appear there. And then I hit schedule post. And now on Wednesday at 7:01, this message will go out on our Facebook page. And that is how you use Buffer. I mean, how simple was that, everyone? That was really simple, right? So my next question for you, and I've just discovered how to get the chat up, so that's really exciting. So I'll be actually able to see everything that you are saying, is are you a social media lover or hater? You either fall into one of the camps, you either love it or you hate it. So let me know what your views are on it. I myself am a lover, obviously. I spend most of my time on social media doing all the marketing and everything. So yes, love it. Yeah, learner. I like that, Sheila. That's great. Okay, so the next step, here we go, is how do you stand out from the crowd? Okay, so now this is a tough one. Now, to be brutally honest with you, generally the digital marketing space is very crowded with lots of companies offering the same service. So the question you need to ask yourself is how do you stand out from the crowd? So the first thing you need to make sure is that you target your customers with in a visually appealing way. So this basically comes down to branding, good design, and use of photos, graphics, and videos. So another free tool, number 3 in our toolbox, is that you can use is Canva. Now this will help you create unique and visually impactful social media posts, email banners, flyers, everything like that. Again, all for free. Now, I will show you just how Canva works in just a second, but one thing to really stress that you can stand out from the crowd by being consistent and on brand, by properly targeting your customers and making sure that everything is measured. If you do that, you will be better than 90% of the competition. And it's really that simple. You know, it's quite scary how simple that is. But yeah, so let's just have a quick look at how Canva works. So this is Canva. Again, it's really simple to use. So once you log on, you'll be presented with this page and you'll have a couple of different templates that you can use. We've got a list of our designs there, sort of Instagram posts, these are all optimized for the different social medias. So if we just do a Facebook post, so when you click on it, it'll then if you've used a template, it'll bring up the template and then you can go on and edit. But for the purpose of this, we want to create. So we'll just hit the plus and add a new page there. So we've got a nice blank post that we can do. Now, what you can do is down this side here, you have a couple of options. Uploads are things that you've uploaded. Photos are photos that you can search. Elements are sort of your text box, grids, different texts, music, videos, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's say we want to make a post about happiness. So if I search happiness, you see a couple of posts have come up here, not quite like this one. So just click and drag that and drop. Now I want to add some text. So you can see different themes and text that you can use. We just want to keep it nice and simple. So let's just use this one. Okay, and then we'll just edit. So yeah, business happening. And you can adjust it at any time. Get rid of that bit. With the signal biz hub. Now you can change the size of the text at any time just by doing this. Just select it and take it down. So I think that's quite good. Like that. And maybe we'll make this one bigger. So it stands a bit more. Okay. Yeah. Now I think because obviously black writing on that background, it's not really standing out. So what I will also now do is I will add an element. So I'm going to add this box here. And I'm just going to drag it so that it covers all of the writing. And then I'm going to adjust the transparency down to 50. And then I'm going to move it back. And then I'm going to change the color to white. Okay, and then if I'm happy with that, I can then just hit download. And that's it. I've just created a graphic that I can post out on the social media in a few minutes. And that is Canva. I mean, how easy was that? Now, I'm not great when it comes to designing things, but you just saw, took me 3 minutes and I'd created a graphic that was able to be posted out on social media. So, you can do it. And it is really easy. This is how people get, the how people's pages stand out, how you can do that. If you can master Canva, then you're laughing. Okay, so the next thing, now I hone on this all the time, is video content. Now this is so powerful. So the way that people kind of view or sort of digest their content has changed massively over sort of the last 5 years, where most people now consume their content via video. Okay, they don't want to sit and read long things, they just want to watch a video. 9 times out of 10 without the sound on. So video is a great way for you to create engaging content, and again, really easy. Now, the last free tool of our toolbox is called Lumen 5. Now, if you haven't heard of Lumen 5, this is my all-time favorite. I would absolutely recommend this to create really short and easy videos. I mean, it's so easy. I've got a short video here. I'll just show you how easy it actually is to create. So this is Lumen 5, and I think it is one of the greatest undiscovered secrets out there, because it is so simple to create great mini video clips to promote things. So when you log on, if you've already got videos, then a video will show here, and you simply just go to create video. And then you'll be presented with these 3 options. So you can upload media to it, you can use a script, or if you've got a blog post, you can use a blog. So let's just go, here we go. So what I'll do is I'll just take some of the copy we wrote for the Eventbrite, and I'll paste it in here into use a script. Now it gives you a couple of options here of different size posts that you can use. These are all sort of optimized. As a general rule of thumb, like with most, sort of 1:1 ratio is the best for most social medias. So select that. And then we have just a couple of options here of different styles and templates that we can use. So I shall select this one. And now it will start to work its magic. So obviously at the moment it's just created sort of the 1 page. Now we want to add a couple, so let's add 1, 2, 3, say 5 pages. That should be enough. And then what I want to do is then just say cut this, just take this down, just sort of paste the content down. I'll just say now at the end. So I've sort of put the text in to see sort of how I want it. So the great thing is, you down here, you can add different media, music, styles, everything. So if I then wanted to search, let's say, marketing strategy, it will then bring up a couple of pictures to do with marketing strategies, and then you just simply select one. Looks quite nice, drop that in there, and then what was this one? This was tested, so let's try tested, see what that brings up. I think I like that one. Drop that in there. Maybe let's try you. That one. Drop that in there. And let's see what comes up when we type in now. It's more about books. Okay, what about if I search? Click that. Ah, much better. And then I can drag and drop that there. Okay. Now I can add music to it if I want to, if I feel like this. Or again, it all just depends. Let's go Urban Edge. Okay, and then if I go preview, and there you can see, I've just created a video. It took me all of about 4 minutes that I can use to advertise this event. And it's as easy as that. And that is Lumen 5. So, I mean, how easy was that, guys? I mean, you know, again, I am not an overly creative person. If you show me something and go, what do you think of this? I can say, yes, that looks really good, or no, it doesn't. But when it comes to actually building it myself, I just don't seem to have the, you know, the brain to be able to put something together that looks great. But, you know, 4 minutes and, you know, I'd created a video. So, you know, spend a little bit more time on it and it would be amazing. So there is another video content that you should really consider. Okay, now this is absolutely so easy and amazing to do. So videos like how-to videos or explainer videos, behind the scenes, Facebook Lives, and the biggest one of all, talking head videos. These are great ways to engage with your customers. And the best thing about these videos is that they help you build trust with your customer. Your customer then sees your face, then walks into your business or, you know, has a video call with you or whatever. They see your face and they already feel like they know who you are. So it builds trust. Now, even better with these is you don't have to go full budget, you know, recording studio. Actually, sort of the low cost, you know, film it on your phone, sort of the unpolished videos often works better when engaging with your customer because it doesn't feel like they're then being sold to. You know, you have a professional video that looks like you're being sold to. If you don't have a professional, I say professional, obviously all videos are, but you know, actually one done for you, then they don't feel like they're being sold, so you then get more engagement. But here's a quick example. This is the last video I'm going to show you today, guys. I promise. Absolute last video. Sorry, I know there's a lot. So this was a video that me and Claire did. I'm not sure if any of you have seen it, but this is what we did to advertise the BizHub Marketing 101. This took us about 2 hours, and the only thing that it cost me, you know, we did this with a mobile. This was a mobile phone, a tripod, and some video editing software. Now, there's free video editing software out there, but the one that I use cost me 50 quid. But yeah, about 2 hours, 3 hours from start to finish. That included editing. I think it was pretty good, but you know, let me know what you think.
The way people view marketing content has changed. Customers no longer want to read through long ads or advertorials. Instead, it's all about video marketing and live streaming. One of the most powerful tools you have in your arsenal. So why aren't more people doing it? For many of us, it's all about confidence or lack of confidence. Lots of business owners don't know what to say or how to say it when they're on camera and are worried about getting it wrong. What if I forget my words? What if I get distracted or something happens in the background? What if I get the angle wrong? What if I walk into something? What if I look like an idiot? Oh, that's a lot of things to worry about. No wonder more people aren't doing it. Which means, if you are, you can really stand out from the crowd and get the benefits of video and live streaming. To get the confidence to take your marketing to the next level and start putting yourself in front of the camera, book for our BizHub session, video and...
So that was just sort of a really quick one, and I mean, it still makes me laugh now. I can't watch that without cracking up into laughter. I will say that that was a fake trip by Claire. She went to practice it walking out of the kitchen. I actually thought she'd tripped and fallen over, and she was like, no, I was just doing a practice. But yeah, and I mean, that was super easy. We literally just had a mobile phone, camera on a tripod, and we just filmed it. So the next question is, are you a creative person, or do you, like me, find designing marketing content a bit daunting? I'm aware we are a bit pushed for time, so I will just sort of skip through the next couple of slides. There's not much left now. So one thing that you should look at is old school marketing activities. So anything that, you know, local newspapers, anything like that, as a small business or a business owner, then you have the ability to keep doing these things and trying out these things. Whereas when it's a big company, there's often a board of directors and, you know, everything's a bit crazy. It takes ages for everything to go through. So have a look at what old school things you can do, whether you're being super local or more further afield, anything like that. You can really stand out more by going old school and putting ads in the local paper or magazines or anything like that. Okay. So to summarize, guys, we're pretty much there now. What should be in your toolkit? So the 4 apps that I've suggested and we've sort of just run through quickly here is Buffer, MailChimp, Canva, and Lumen 5. Those are the 4 apps that I think will, I mean, you've seen how easy they are to use. You know, with a bit of practice, the first time will be a bit daunting, but with a bit of practice, you'll be able to use them no problem. Okay, so to summarize, understand your customer and your sales funnel. So you need to keep creating additional content to bring your prospects into your funnel. Schedule and automate as much of your process as you can. You need to make sure you stand out from the crowd. Video content is king, so use it, use lots of it. There's never too much. Revisit tried and tested marketing methods and sign up to those free tools from what we've just discussed. So the last question is, do you have what it takes to market your business? Okay, so it is one of the most important parts of marketing your business, and without marketing you will struggle to get consistent new customers. But it's also very time consuming and can be very hard to get off the ground. So if you have the skills, this is the question you need to ask yourself is, do you have the skills to create engaging and eye-catching content and write? And do you have the, the creative flair to write great sales copy? Because if you do, then fantastic, because you've now got some free tools. You can go away, you can give it a go, happy days. But it's okay if you haven't. And that's the really important thing to stress here. Not everyone has. And as a business owner, you should play to your strengths. There are many other things that you need to focus on as well as marketing. So, this kind of links back to one thing that we say to everyone, which is, don't do the £20 jobs. By outsourcing, you then free yourself up to do other things. So if you are thinking that you don't have the time or the flair in your business, don't worry. Signal has a new Hubbub marketing department, which can help with all of that. With just a brief, quick overview of what the Hubbub is. On a sort of our basic package, you get a monthly blog post, graphics, and a video created for you, a monthly email, a marketing audit, social media posts, and also we'll shout out across all of our social media for you, because we're all about helping all the small businesses. So, last question: who has lots of really good intentions of marketing but doesn't have the time? Let me know in the comments below, because I know I find it hard, and that's what I do. So let me know if you've got lots of intentions but you just don't have the time. And that's it from me, guys. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Sorry, that was a bit of a long one. I don't know when to stop talking.
Thank you very much, Gareth. That is awesome. Yeah, all of those tools can be used to help improve the content that you share and the content you create, and to keep that content mill going. One of the ways that my brain kind of rewired itself was, don't think of yourself as providing the service or the goods that you do. Think of yourself as a content creator around those goods or services, and the goods and services will be a part of the sales process. So not everyone who reads your content will sign up or do what you need to do, but you get enough people engaging with your content, a lot of those that are right for you, especially if you've got that buyer persona sorted, then you will end up with leads knocking on your door asking you for business. So thank you so much, Gareth. I know we've overrun, but I kind of wanted everybody to see all of that content because it's so great that you can do a DIY marketing toolbox these days. We're going to have a quick break. We're going to come back at 11 o'clock and we will cover, as I hinted at, the buyer persona. So you should have a document. If they haven't got a document, Gareth, where can they get it from?
So there is on our website. If you go to the members area, it's in the downloads. We also do have a link that we can email out. So either email me or Stuart and we can send you that link.
And we'll see you at 11 o'clock. Don't forget, we are switching. There is a meeting link, which I posted way back at the start of the meeting. I'm just trying to find that so that I can share it again. There we are. Link for the second session is now in the chat box. All of our guests, you are more than welcome to join us there. We will be looking at buyer personas. Who is buying from you? Who do you need to create that content for? It's all very good having the tools, but you need to know the insights, the demographics, the idea of who your ideal customer is. We'll be doing that at 11 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and we'll see you in that meeting at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye. Hello. Hello there. Nice to see you, Adam. Lovely to see you, Noam.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you. I love your icon, Danielle, Wonder Woman. There's an interesting backstory to Wonder Woman.
Is there?
Yeah, oh yeah. She was the product of a psychologist and his wife and their lover, and they had bondage sessions. Oh, it's a whole story.
Oh,
I know.
that sounds like a.
Let's not go there. It's about female empowerment anyway. So.
Ooh, okay, that's a story for the pub, possibly.
There was a film made about it. I think it was on Netflix or Prime about the story behind it. Yeah, it was a big scandal at the time.
Okay, good.
Hello, people. Hello,
Hi.
Stu. Hello, Helen. Lovely to see you.
Nice to see you all. Hi, Keith.
Hi there. Danielle, are you joining us on the video? You can still join us on the chat. If not, you can unmute yourself. It's wonderful to have you all here. Time is a little tight, so we are going to get started. How many people have got the buyer persona? Hello there, nice to see you, Danielle. And how many people have got the buyer persona download? Have you got that? Have you not?
Nearly.
Gareth, could you put a link to it in the chat?
I can indeed. Hold
Thank
on.
you. There will be a link to it in the chat. Be very shortly. Hello, Louise. That doesn't look like a Louise. Hello, hello. Suddenly realised. Maybe he's stepping out of the closet. I don't know. Hello, sir. What is your name?
Philip.
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 Ah,
Hi, Philip. Nice to meet you.
That's a bit better. Yes, nice to meet you, Philip. There is a link in the chat to the download for the buyer persona, and it's divided into 4 sections. So as Gareth said in the first half, you start with your buyer persona. There are some basics around marketing that are immutable. It doesn't matter if you're someone as large as Nike or you're a one-man band. These are the rules of the road. You have to stick to them. You'll get better outcomes. And it's market, media, message. Okay, who is your market? It doesn't matter how much content you produce. If you're aimed at the wrong market or you're scattergunning it, you will not get good results. So who is your market? And you start with your buyer persona. What is the best message for them? And then what channels can you reach them on? Is it on LinkedIn, Facebook, email? Is it picking up the phone and just having a chat? Whatever the channel is that gets the right results, that's the one to use the most. And start with that and build up into the others. You don't have to do all of those channels all at once, all the time. Okay? Pick a campaign, think of an idea that your buyer will absolutely love if they are ideal for your service or your goods, and go after them. So in this section of today's hub, we're going to be looking at that buyer persona because it's the root of everything. If you're confused about what copy to write, think about the buyer that you're having the conversation with, because that's all that copy is. It's a conversation. And if you read it out and it sounds way too formal, rip it up, scrap it and start again. So we're going to talk about the buyer persona. So if you've got that book, hopefully you've got it now. We're going to do section 1, which is the who is your buyer. So we're going to be looking at giving the persona a name. It can be simple as Sandra or Dave. You can be more convoluted than that if you want. We're going to look at what sector they're in. So what industry or sector do they work in? Or if you're B2C, you know, what does the consumer, where do they come from, etc. What their background is and what their demographics are. So we're going to put you into some breakout rooms and you're going to get 5 minutes to discuss this. And then when you come back, we'll ask people, you know, what they discussed, if they came up with any insights or information, and then we'll move through to the next section and do the same all the way through the 4 sections. So hopefully you've got a good understanding of this workbook so that even if you don't get some concrete answers, you've got something that you can move forward with after this session. Are we all good? Give me a thumbs up, give me a yay, give me a whoop whoop, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Hi there, Paul. Hi there, Shana. Hello, Terry. So Gareth is back on the ones and twos, mixing it up. Can you put everybody into a breakout room? I think twos and threes might work.
So about that.
Yes.
Zoom seems to have changed in the last day, and the option for a breakout room is not actually anywhere.
I've got it. I'm doing it. I'm on it.
Fine.
And go. There we go. Nice, nice, excellent, fabulous, wonderful to see you all back. And who would like to give us some insights in what they discussed? Maybe Adam.
Yeah, so I think I've realised I need to think about this a lot more. It's interesting, isn't it? As soon as you start thinking about it, you go, you know, it really starts to lead you down sort of some very narrow paths. And as I think, you know, as Gareth mentioned earlier this morning about, you know, helping to define which platforms you might find people on. Keith, I was talking to Keith, and he said he picks up, or seems to pick up, a fair few leads off YouTube from, I think, podcasts he says he does on a weekly. So I've jotted that down. It hadn't even occurred to me to do podcasts and things like that. And it was a surprise also from Gareth's presentation earlier at how popular YouTube is. I don't know why it's a surprise, but it is to me anyway. So yeah, some interesting stuff actually, and lots of food for thought.
It really does channel your mind when you're thinking to yourself, if I had a person in front of me, there are certain things that I would say, or they would comment back, that would make me go, they're an ideal customer. There's somebody who I should stay in touch with. And, you know, what can I do to stay in touch with them? Now, because you can't see them because they're out there, you still got to have that, right, I'm creating this, I'm going to use wording, I'm going to use images that are going to make my ideal customer lean in and go, oh, that's interested, I'm interested in that. Keith, you do the podcast.
Yes.
What lets you know that somebody is a good customer? I mean, I know your podcast, for anyone who doesn't know, Keith does GDPR. So that's what his business focuses on. It helps businesses get clarity around it and gives them the processes they need. What lets you know that somebody is an ideal customer?
It's a difficult one, really, Stu, because I was saying to Adam that my customer base is so broad, from, you know, really relatively small companies, I don't know, 30, 40 people in a company, up to local authorities or multinationals with thousands and thousands of people. But I guess the ideal customer is someone who recognizes that they need to do something about it. And that's I think that's the tricky bit to get over to people, is most people don't realize they have a problem with it. So it's trying to make sure that find those people who recognize that they have a problem, but at the same time, not trying to scare them that the problem's so big they won't be able to solve it, because otherwise they don't want to spend money on it then either. So it's trying to convince them that it's something they should be doing and can be done without them actually. You know, I think a lot of people worry that it will just totally disrupt their business so much they won't be able to do their business anymore.
But I'm guessing the fact that you do a GDPR podcast, anybody who tunes into that and listens to it regularly, there is an inherent need for them to understand that information. You know, it's quite a niche, it's quite specific. I doubt people are listening for recreational purposes.
No, I doubt it. Yeah.
So somebody who is bookmarking it and making it a regular destination every week, at some level, they are an ideal customer, because they're leaning into that content and they're going, I need to know this stuff. And at some point, they're going to reach out and say, hey, Keith, you touched on this, or you mentioned that, and absolutely, that's something we want to do something about. Can you help us?
Yeah, I think the thing with the podcast is that, it's a way of getting the name out there, really. Yeah. You know, so people think, and I've occasionally had referrals from it, not directly from the person. So it's not the person who listens who becomes a customer, but they go, I know a guy who knows about that. Yeah. And they point in my direction.
And you see, Adam, that might be a way that you can create some content that gets some traction over time. And this is the other thing, it takes time. If you do something once and it has no result, that doesn't mean to say it won't work. It means that what you didn't work. Try something different. You know, I always say with a marketing campaign, it's your first best idea that you need to test with the marketplace. If the marketplace responds positively or negatively, hey, both are great because you've learned something about your customer base. Okay, mindful of time, we're going to go and do section 2. I'm really sorry, Danielle, that you ended up in a room on your own. I've given the reins back to Gareth, the master of the decks.
I have the power again, so there'll be no problems. All right, it'll go smoothly from now on.
Sorry, Lou. Sorry, Danielle.
Don't worry. Can I just check, Paul? Have you now got a copy of the workbook? Yeah. No.
There was a link in the chat. Did you get the link in the chat?
All I can see is one comment from me in the chat. I can't see any other comments in the chat.
Okay.
What about now?
Got it right now. There you go.
You got it.
Yeah. Fabulous. Okay, right. We're going to go into a room for section 2. The what? What are their goals? What are their challenges? And what you can do for them. We will be back in 5 minutes to get some insights. Gareth, do your thing. Welcome back, everybody. How was that session?
That was good.
Yeah,
short.
Useful, short, yes, short, but it's a talking point and you can expand on it in your own time. So I'm not going to run through all of it, but it'd be interesting to find out if anyone explored challenges that relate to your company services, your products that your end user might be either aware or unaware of. Anybody like to give some insights? Maybe we could talk to you, Philip. I'm not quite sure what I know about your company. Can you unmute yourself? Philip, you're on mute.
Got it.
There we go.
Yeah. I think I'm in a slightly different position, I think, to many of the people here this morning, in that I get the sense that most of the other businesses are service providers. I'm helping my daughter setting up a fruit and veg delivery service locally. We have got a pretty good idea who our customer base is, because most of our customers fit into a pretty similar type of person. Our challenge is finding more of them and differentiating ourselves from competitors in terms of, the USP of my daughter's business is really personalised service. She gets to know her customers, they know her, she communicates with them, first name terms throughout by email, phone and whatever. So our challenge is building numbers, really. We know who our customer is, we just need more of them.
Yeah, so, but the challenge around the end user using your service, how do you identify the problems that they have around that so that you can highlight in your marketing that they needn't worry about it being, I don't know, a monthly subscription for 12 months that they can't get out of, or
we've just started. We've only been going for 8 weeks. We started a subscription service now, and most of our regular customers have gone on to a subscription service very happily, which I think indicates they're happy with the quality of the goods that they're buying and the service that we provide. It's just getting more of them. But that's a challenge. I think they are generally happy with the service and the quality of the goods they get, but it's just building numbers.
Cool. Okay.
Sorry, can I just ask a question? Are you local to Borden, Philip?
Yeah, we're not. We're based really in sort of the Alton area, but we've got customers in Borden. That's how I got to know about the Borden hub.
Okay.
And we've been trying to build Borden. We had something in the Alton Herald and the Borden Herald recently, a page about my daughter Lucy. And Borden is really a really interesting area for us because it's now all new housing and whatever. And it fits our customer profile really well. So
we'll definitely have a conversation after this because we're very involved in the makers market.
I heard reference to that earlier on, so I'd like to hear more.
So we'll definitely have a conversation later on. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, mindful of time ticking on, we're going to move on to section 3. Why would people buy from you? What are common objections or their common motivators for your ideal target audience? Gareth, would you pop people into a quick breakout room for a 5-minute chat? Thank you.
Are we ready? Steady, go.
John and Fiona, if you need the book, it's linked to in the group chat. Hello and welcome back, everybody. So how was that? Section 3, common objections and common motivators. I'm going to pick on you, Shayna, to give us some feedback. What are common objections you have from your ideal target customer?
Well, obviously, the obvious one, which is homeopathy is a load of bunkum. That's the classic, you know, and it is a real challenge to manage that negativity. But obviously, my ideal customer is interested in other solutions. So, you know, that's cost, I guess, is the second one, and time. So my ideal customer is female with children over about 7, because before 7 she's never going to put herself first, but over 7 she may have time to. And then it's about whether she prioritises herself enough. And often people are looking for some alternative health help. That tends to be the single biggest struggle, is that they don't prioritise themselves. They prioritise everyone else in the family.
So you now know what your marketing messages are. Prioritizing yourself is not a bad thing, because without good health, you can't
look after your family. Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect. Excellent. And that's the reason that this document is useful. And you can go back to it time and time again. You can find other personas and other people that you might be having a conversation with, and have that kind of thought experiment. You know, what would their common objections be? What are their big problems in their life that are motivating them to adopt? So we talked about Philip being delivering his daughter delivering fruit and veg. That saves people time. That's why people get food delivered. There's also the current one, if they're in shielded lockdown or they're not wanting to go into shops because they don't feel that it's safe to do so, delivered to your door. You know, again, we have a need to be responsible with our sort of COVID preparations in our household. We have elderly relatives that we look after. Limiting our exposure to that is always going to be our top priority at the moment. So it's understanding what's going on in your customers' lives, and that can change. Just because you looked at it last month, what's happening this month? You know, check in with it. Just a quick 5-minute, are these still relevant? Does this still make sense to my customer? That can make a big difference, because it means you can pivot and change and move forward. Red Mist Leisure, who we work with, they've got 11 pubs across Hampshire and Surrey. And when lockdown came in, you can imagine what they were thinking, you know, no income at all. And they pivoted to food delivery because they realized that their depot, where they get all of the food delivered to distribute to their 11 venues, they could distribute that to other people. And they went after key workers initially because they were overstretched, didn't have time to get to a shop. So again, a really good pivot by understanding possible customer needs that drives people to lean into what you're talking about. Okay.
It's also very important, I suppose, to look at the climate as to what's going on around us. So, you know, we're all thinking about COVID now and how it's gone around us. Adam, I'm sure a lot of your customer base are going to be very much, we want to gain back time, we need to automate, we have to have it in the cloud, we have to have a process, so that if this happens again, we're going to be a more slick operation. So it's looking at the climate and everything that's going around you and adapting your business accordingly.
One of the things we're mindful of is time. I don't want to take anybody's time who is not willing, but would you like me to do the last section, the next 5 minutes? Do I have permission from everybody present to do that as a breakout room and a discussion? Is that okay? Yeah? General acceptance? Brilliant. Okay. So Gareth, a quick 5 minutes on what conversion messages get the person to contact you? What additional value can you add? You know, can they take a 30-day free trial? Can they do something that is not going to cost you an arm and a leg, but allows them to sample, try before you buy? So a quick 5 minutes on that. We'll come back. We'll get one person to tell us what they did, and then we'll end it. But thank you very much for sticking with us. All the very best. See you in 5 minutes. Fabulous. Welcome back, everybody. And So section 4, the how, conversion messages and added value. Perhaps we could speak to, who's my eyes settling on, Paul Barnes, who was the star of the webinar with his customer profile. So what do you think that what your company does that the persona that you're after engages with?
So the hope is that they're getting out of what we deliver a way to de-risk their investment. They're looking to make good decisions about knowing what their customers need to build the right end product. Because in the other sections, I would have talked about going into development of a digital product, a piece of software, before really understanding customers very, very well. The mindset used to be just go and build a piece of technology and people will come and people will buy it and people will use it. It just doesn't work anymore. And you end up building the wrong product. So what we do is we go back to the customer needs and we really get them to think about those challenges. So that being said, this is a difficult question for me to ask because I'm transferring from my freelance life into my business life, and I'm looking to get my first customer for that conversion message.
It can take some time, but when you've polished it, the worst thing you can do with marketing is if you're doing something and it's not working, you keep doing it. And there is a temptation to think that, well, you know, it just needs me to get a wider audience. Hey, listen, I run Facebook ads, and if they don't get a customer within a £50 spend, I trash the ad and start again. I'll change the headline, I'll change the image. 50 quid should get me a customer for majority of the products I'm selling for my customers. So I'm suggesting that if something isn't working, change it. Fail fast, review, change. That is really kind of one of the things that you can do, especially when you're digitally marketing. Most people won't remember that you've changed your ad. They will only remember the things they've engaged with or that are important to them. So don't feel that, oh, well, it feels like I'm changing it every 5 minutes. If people don't react to it, they won't remember it. Do you remember all the ads that you didn't react to? No. So it's the same for your ideal customer. If they didn't see it and they didn't act on it, they won't remember it. Okay, there is a lot more we can discuss about this. There is tons of stuff in the members area in and around this. Thanks to Gareth for his sterling work this morning, giving us a overview of some free products to use in your digital marketing toolkit. If you've got any questions, as always, bring them to Mastermind, fire them through to the team here, Lou, Gareth, myself. We're more than happy to answer those and engage with those. But go away, start doing this stuff. It's only the doing of it that will make a difference to your business. It's all that knowledge locked in your head is not going to help change your world. So go out and implement it and let us know what happens. Let us know where you're stuck. Let us know what needs changing and you can't get through it or you don't see a way through it. More than happy to talk about that. Thank you very much to our members. Thank you very much to our guests, Danielle and Philip. If you'd like to hang back after everybody's left, we can talk to you about the hub and see, you know, what you're trying to achieve in a little bit more depth. Just 5 minutes, and Lou and I will chat to you about that. Thanks very much to Shayna, Noam, Adam, Paul, Fiona and John, late to the party, but you're very welcome. Keith, Helen, Terry, Sue, congratulations on your website going live, Terry. We didn't mention it in the wins. It wasn't spotted until we'd moved on, but
thank you.
Thumbs up. We got there. We got there in the end.
Next step.
Yeah, thanks very much and have a good weekend, people. And don't forget, Beer Friday at 4:30, post in the residence group or on the Facebook page. Have a great weekend.
And you. Cheers.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. I love how we all wave. It's great. The Zoom wave.